everyone, welcome to another vlog of Knitmas. Today is December 6th. It's a Saturday, so it's the first weekend of Knitmas, which is exciting because I feel like I actually have some things to vlog. This morning we made waffles, which is always a good way to start the weekend. And I also finished sewing my tree skirt that I've been working on for weeks. The project vlog for that should be up already, so if you missed it, you can go watch that if you want to see me semi-struggling through my mostly first quilting experience. I've quilted a little bit, but nothing of this size, but I want to eventually sew a large quilt. So I feel like this was a really good project to kind of dip my toes into quilting and get a better understanding of it and kind of get some of those mistakes out of the way. So I finished that up this morning, and then finally I was able to pick up my craft room. Every time I sew, my craft room / home office just gets completely obliterated. There's not only like thread everywhere, but I'm also like moving everything around. I have my iron and my ironing board out, and there's just a bunch of stuff like in the middle of the room. And so for weeks, my office has just been a complete mess. And not to say that it is like clean and organized right now, but at least most of the stuff has been put away and is not like sitting in the middle of the room. I do have my like crafting table out at the moment because I'm gonna do some rearranging of this office, of my furniture in here. I feel like I have done this probably 15 times since we moved in. I just can't figure out a good layout for this room, and it really is bothering me. So I think I'm gonna move some things around again later this weekend, but for now, we're just both gonna have to deal with this space not looking very nice. But right now what I want to do is pull out all of my knitting whips and just get a sense of where I'm at with all of them. Between traveling and sewing the tree skirt, taking up so much of my crafting time, I just feel like I haven't been knitting very much, and I definitely haven't been cycling through my whips. I've kind of been working on like one in particular. So I want to pull them all out and do a little whip audit, assess where I'm at, and we can talk through all of that. So here is the state of things. Of course, I have my Christmas socks that I'm working on that I will continue to work on this weekend. I'd like to get to the heel by the end of the weekend, which I think is a fairly reasonable goal. These are some socks I'm knitting out of Tiny Human Knits yarn. It's in the colorway Season's Greetings. Then I have my tessellated vest that I'm knitting with some hand spun yarn. And if you haven't knit this pattern or series of patterns before, I think the worst part is the yarn management. No matter how nicely I put this project back into the basket, somehow my yarn just always gets tangled up. And so I haven't wanted to pick this back up since I put it down for that reason. But I'm working on the front. So I'm working back and forth now. I've gotten the bottom of the body done. So, you know, I'm working along. I think it's gonna be really cool once it's finished, but currently working flat with my 3 different yarns is not the most fun. So I just have to kind of be in a mindset to work on this. I'm hoping I will pick it back up soon though, because I would like to just make as much progress as I can on it before the end of the year. I'm also working on my Jaunty by Andrea Mallory. I'm knitting this out of, oh, apparently this wants to be tangled too, this Fiber Space Cumulus. alpaca yarn, and it's turning out really nice. I have made it past the halfway point, so I'm working on the decreases now. For some reason, the decreases aren't as fun as the increases. I think I'll get to a point where the rows get short enough that I enjoy it a little bit more again. But I feel like I got to the halfway point and then I kind of stalled out on this, but maybe that's just because we were traveling and I didn't take this with me, so it's just sort of sat for a while. But I've been keeping it on my couch and just picking it up whenever we're like watching something for a moment. So I'm still enjoying working on it and I would like to get this done. Next, I have a really long-term whip. If you followed me for a while, you might recognize that this is the Pitch cardigan by Emily Green, and I'm currently working on one of the fronts. I am filming a project vlog on this sweater. And when I was first coming up with all of my Knitmas ideas, which was probably a couple of months ago at this point, I had some ambitions that I would get much closer to the end on this sweater, and I just have not had the time this past month to dedicate to it like I wanted. So I am like not making a ton of progress on this in that project vlog that you'll see in probably a week or so, but that's okay. I am just working on it as I can, and I'm actually having fun working on this. I put it down for so long because I just wasn't enjoying it, but I think I've had enough time away from it that I'm liking it again. So this has been really fun. I have made a mistake that put me back quite a bit, and I'm just about to get back to the point before I made the mistake where I should have been if I didn't make that mistake. So yeah, I'm just working away on the front. It's quite a long cardigan, so I do have quite a bit more to go. But like I said, I'll talk more about the details of this project in that other vlog. My last whip is my handspun port cardigan by Ozetta. I took this with me when we traveled for Thanksgiving, so I've gotten some decent progress made on this. I am just working on the body now. I've split for the sleeves, so it's quite mindless. I'm loving the colors. So this is another one that I just pick up kind of as we're watching stuff together, or if I'm just like chilling, watching something that I really want to pay attention to, I will pick this up because it's so mindless. So I think that one is going pretty fast if I am working on it. I haven't worked on it in about a week, so I would like to pick that one back up, but I've just been prioritizing other projects. The last like project that I have that is not currently a whip, but I would like it to be, is a pair of gift socks. Every year I knit my boyfriend a pair of socks for Christmas, so this is the yarn that I've chosen for this year. This is some yarn that he picked out when we were yarn shopping together a while ago, so I think he's really gonna like them. And I would like to cast these on this weekend so that I can get them going and work on them as I have a few moments. That is really how my knitting is getting done right now, is just kind of in between everything else going on. All right, I think I'm gonna break for lunch now and check in with you after. I am sitting down to put our meal plan together. Actually, we already planned our meals together, but I am looking at the recipes and writing down what ingredients we need to shop for. I don't know how much you're interested in cooking content, but that's one of my favorite parts of Vlogmas and just general like project vlogs, when people include what they cook, because I love to cook. We cook fairly often. We'll eat out probably once or twice a week, and then we cook pretty much everything else. But we do eat a lot of leftovers. So we usually plan for cooking 3 dinners a week. And then there's a couple nights in there where we'll like scrounge or just do, you know, something quick like canned or boxed or something. And every day for lunch, we'll eat a dinner leftover. So this week, we have 3 meals planned. We are making a veggie lasagna. We have a ton of spinach that we need to use up, so we'll be putting that in it, probably a couple other veggies as well. And I'm adapting a recipe from Smitten Kitchen for that. So I'm really excited to try that out. There's a method she uses where she soaks the lasagna noodles in hot water rather than boiling them, and then they finish baking in the oven. So I'm pretty hopeful that that's going to work, because the worst part of making lasagna is boiling the noodles. And I know there's like the no boil lasagna noodles that you can get, but those always kind of have a weird texture to them. So we're gonna try this and see how it goes. And then we also have some roasted tomatoes in the freezer that we're gonna use to make a roasted tomato soup. When we harvested a bunch of tomatoes from our garden, and then also got a bunch of, like a variety of tomatoes from our CSA, our crop share, I roasted them all and then froze them because there was no way we were gonna get through them all. So we're gonna make a tomato soup out of that. Very excited for that. And then probably make some grilled cheese to go with. And then the last recipe, we have both been craving like a homemade miso soup. So we're gonna make that with tofu and some other veggies, and probably bulk that soup up with a bunch of veg, or maybe do something else on the side with that. But yeah, that is our meal plan for the week. I just got back from a run. It's been a while since I have ran. So it was really good to get back out there, and I'm hoping I can be regular with it again. I love winter running. It is my favorite time to run outside, and it's fun this time of year because a lot of people have their Christmas lights out. So yeah, it was a good run. I really tried not to overdo it because that's easy to do, and then you like ruin yourself for a few days. So hopefully I pulled back enough that I'll be okay. But I am going to shower and then sit down to do some knitting. I was working on my socks earlier, as you saw, so I think I'm gonna pull out, I'm probably gonna work on my pitch cardigan, this one, because I'm almost to the point, I think I mentioned this, but I'm almost where I was when I had to start ripping back. So I'm gonna get back up to that point. And then tonight we are planning on putting up our Christmas tree, finally. It's not that late for us. Sometimes we've done it like, I don't know, a week until Christmas, but we usually try to get it up, you know, as early as we can so that we can enjoy it all month. But yeah, I think we're gonna do that tonight, and we have a documentary that we're gonna watch while we do that. So it's gonna be fun. My boyfriend is out with a friend getting dinner, and I think he's gonna bring me back something from the restaurant they went to, so that'll be nice. And then he also said he was gonna go grocery shopping and run a couple errands for us. So I'm gonna get caught up on Vlogmas. Well, truthfully, I'm gonna do some editing, and then I'm gonna sit down to knit and watch some Vlogmas until he gets back. Ready? You ready? Okay. We're building the Christmas tree. This is my method for storing the branches. We bundle them and then wrap them in the color yarn that corresponds to the color of tag. And honestly, it works quite well. Hello everyone, it is Sunday and you might think that it is early in the morning, but it's not. That's the sunset. I slept in today, which was much needed after my first week at the new job, and then I just edited all day. I just sat right here and worked on my Connie tree skirt video that I just posted. I have made it back to the point where I needed to rip back on pitch, so that's fun. And I also just hit the point where I want to put the heel in on my sock. So that is how it's coming along. I'm really liking these stripes. I have been craving a whiskey eggnog, so that is what I'm gonna make. I'm casting these on, and he is downstairs, so it's a little bit risky. My eggnog whiskey turned out pretty good. I think it needs like a little bit more spice, but it is good. I am making roasted tomato soup with grilled cheese. So I'm just chopping the onions now and saute them and then blend everything up together. I'm using red onions because we have quite a few that we need to use up. And these are like the most potent red onions that I've ever encountered. Literally, I have tears streaming down my face. Oh my God. Dinner was really good. It's been a long time since I've made a tomato soup, and yeah, it turned out delish. So I'm sitting down to work on some knitting before I get ready for bed, and I'll show you where I'm at. So I always seem to be in the middle of a row when I show you this. I don't know why, but yeah, so you can't see it super well, but I'm just plugging away on the front still. I mean, I'm going to be working on this for a while. I kind of keep making like small mistakes because I keep putting the yarn over in the wrong place. I don't know why. I'm just not paying that close attention to it. So when I start making mistakes on this, I just switch back to my mindless socks, and I made it to the heel, and I'm working on the heel flap / turn. So that is exciting. I also cast these on. Those are in a good place where I can just pick them up and work on them as I have time. I am working on this kind of out in the open, but as long as I like stuff it into my basket and then put some other knitting on top, it's not really noticeable what it is. So far so good. So I think I hit all of my like low-key knitting goals for the weekend. Not that I really had any major ones, but I honestly haven't knit a whole lot this weekend. It's just been a lot of kind of getting things back in order, doing stuff around the house, and doing a lot of editing. So yeah, that's kind of my life right now. It is the end of the next day and I'm gonna sign off here, but before I go, I have to ask the question for the video, which is, what has been the best part of this year for you so far? For me, I definitely have to pick our New York City trip. I've wanted to go to New York City for basically my entire life, and it finally happened, and it was even better than I could have imagined. I would love to go back. We both would love to go back, and so I'm sure that's going to happen at some point, but it is definitely the highlight of this year. Even though there have been a lot of great things that have happened this year, that one really just stands out to me as being one of the coolest things that I have done this year. So let me know what has been the best part of the year for you. It doesn't have to be anything big, it can be something small. So I would love to know what your answer is. And I also wanted to say thank you for commenting and answering all of these questions. I think most people who have left a comment on one of my Knitmas videos have answered the question, which is much higher rate than I was expecting. So this has been really fun to kind of get to know each of you a little bit better. I kind of have a mix of like silly questions and more serious ones, and a lot of people have answered them all. So yeah, just wanted to say thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.